Watching the Black Conservative Perspective discuss Biden and whether he's really going to stay in the running for the position of, or in his case, retaining the position of being the president in 2024. Now, I personally believe with Biden, there's one simple thought stream and concept that governs his decision to well, at least give the impression that he's going to run for the presidency in 2024. I've heard it said that being president is what Biden has worked towards his whole political life and career as a politician. That's 50 years from what I understand and counting. And he made some attempts previously. It probably wasn't the right time. He didn't get the support and the backing. The stars aligned, and this occasion he got the top job. And I believe he's not going to have put in all that effort, built a whole infrastructure around him in terms of what they say the Biden family enterprise is all about. So there's other people tied into him being the top guy. I don't think he's going to put in all that effort and give it up easily. Also, there's some practical implications. He loses control over, as was mentioned on the video that spurred this comment, the Black Conservative Perspective. Big shout out to him and his content. The fact that he loses control over the Justice Department. And not only that, I reckon if he did lose his position as president, he loses all the important protections, legal protections that go along with that he currently enjoys and that protects him and his son with all these recent accusations. To add to that, I think if he does drop out in 2024, leading up to the elections, and his party supplants somebody else in his position to represent them in the race, I think they'll have to carry him kicking, punching, crying and screaming. I don't think it'll be an easy thing for him, because I believe this is everything he lives for. I'm not sure there's anything he would you could put past him not being willing to I won't say sacrifice, but to surrender for him to retain his position, as in, he'll probably throw anybody if he had to under the bus if it meant he kept his position. And this statement or point I'm about to mention might sound a little bit cold and slightly crude even. I think underlying some of what we see in Biden's policies and the fact that, he's had all of these executive decisions made to reverse a lot of Trump's policies. Some of the policies and things they stand for sound, if not delusional, just so extreme you'd think any balanced-minded person wouldn't either support it, or if they support some of what they say, you'd think they wouldn't even really believe it themselves. I'm talking in terms of policies. The excessive spending that seems to have a negative effect on the state of the country's finances, speaking about the USA, and the way it's been, by some people's analysis, said that it's driven up inflation, the excessive spending that they've done, the green policies trying to, fast track going from, burning fossil fuels and the energy we're currently dependent on, to total green infrastructure or ecosystem they seem to be attempting to bring in a very unnaturally short period of time. Bottom line, it's very simple. I believe that he probably doesn't really care that much about he probably doesn't really care that much about the future implications of some of these decisions that he's making now. Looking at his age, I believe he just wants to enjoy the position he's, worked so hard to achieve, and he's managed to attain as the top job on the globe, leader of the supposedly top nation, the U.S. presidency. I believe he's enjoying the fruits of his labor thus far, and knowing his age, I believe he wants to retain that top job as long as he can, which is not unusual. Because if you look at some of the movers and shakers in the American political system, the ones that are of a certain age, they never seem too keen. They don't seem too keen to want to give up that position to somebody slightly younger than them. And when I say younger, in their arena, you could be, early 40s, mid 40s, 50s, early 60s. That is, you're a spring chicken in the political gladiatorial arena, I do believe. So I think it's like this. If he can hold his position as long as possible, whether he's going to be leaving generations of debt for the younger generations to have to pay as they age, whether he's going to be leaving behind him some disastrous effects in the in the future for as a result of some of their policies. I don't think that's really the important factor that's driving him wanting to stay in his position and support somebody's really strange and to a large percentage of their population detrimental policies. I think he just probably, considering his age, doesn't feel it's his problem if he's not going to be around. Not saying this in any kind of a negative way, just in terms of practicality. Looking at his age, if he's not going to be around beyond, well, even if he lived to 100 or 90, which might sound like an exaggeration, these things are not impossible. He's not planning to be around when things really start to hit the fan. If these policies and changes he's making during his administration's period, if they're successful to win the presidency for another term or more, and carry on reversing some of the positive things that were done in the previous administration and bringing in these unusual policies, I don't think he's planning to be around when it all kind of hits the fan. So the bottom line is, I believe a lot of the decisions he's making now is based on him enjoying the party while it lasts, and as I said earlier, enjoying the fruits of his labor. So this is my conclusion and my comments based on the last video I watched from the Black conservative perspective. It's very informative content, discussing today's current politics and the Biden administration and the looming elections in 2024. I don't think there is much being considered beyond, say, the lifetime of the current administration. I think what happens in 20, 30, 40 years, I don't think they give a monkeys about what happens, what they leave behind them, as long as they enjoy, the power, the prestige, the judicial legal protection they have while they're holding those top positions. And I think that's one of the reasons, and all the money they amass as a spin-off of being in that position. I don't think they're really that bothered about future generations or what happens when they're no longer around. They're just really concerned with what they are enjoying in the moment, and for the length of their them holding their top positions. So apologies if that comment seemed to be quite lengthy. Excuse me, just following a trail of thought. And this is my analysis in verbal commentary form. I'll be back with more comments at some point in the near future. I'm out.